Veterans reentering civilian life face many challenges, including finding a job. Hi, I'm Monta Williams. Welcome to Military Makeover Operation Career. Today, we have 4 inspirational stories of former servicemen and women who have reinvented themselves and are thriving at companies that value their unique skills. At Miller-Motte College, it's all about career-focused education to get you in, out, and on with it. They're helping train veterans for their next successful career after serving our country.
Miller-Motte College offers business, admin, and allied health and skilled trades. The programs vary in length. They're very structured. A student will go from one class and they know at the beginning of their program that they're doing the classes in these orders.
I served 6 years in the Marine Corps. I was stationed out in Okinawa, Japan, and then came stateside to Jacksonville, North Carolina. I was a motor transport operator, so we were responsible for moving all of the cargo, troops, whatever needed to be moved, we moved it. I've been so structured for so long, told where to be, when to be, what to wear, that going back out into the civilian world was definitely a little intimidating. I knew that I wanted to go to school, I just wasn't sure how to get started or where I wanted to go. And a friend of mine had looked into Miller-Motte and wrote my name down as a referral. Next thing you know, I'm getting called from the admissions office, setting up an appointment, and I'm enrolled.
I served in the military for 5 years. I served from 2001 to 2005. I was in the United States Navy as a Master at Arms, which is basically law enforcement. I served in Guantanamo Bay and in Virginia at the Naval Shipyard. I found out 2 years ago that my kidneys were failing. I had already been interested in the medical field before. I just didn't know what capacity I wanted to go into. So when I ended up having a kidney transplant, just the way I was taken care of in the hospital reminded me that I had a passion for caring for others. When you're given a second chance, per se, at life, or in my opinion, you need to do something with it. And so that's what made me realize that it was time to go back to school to look and find what was going to work best for me. Just being able to go through the program in the allotted amount of time and back into the working field was a big help for me.
Either an admissions representative will reach out to a prospective student, say, hey, I saw that you were interested in coming to school, or you have students that call us and say, hey, I'm ready to go to school, how do I get this started? After that, we like to do face-to-face meetings with the students, get to know the student a little bit better, have the student know the admissions rep, we give you a tour of the school, let you know about the programs, and then we see which program will be the best fit for you. Quick and painless process, but we do try to make it intimate so that we get to know each individual student and help them the best that we can.
Entry into truck driving was awful. I was hired by a very large company and they promised a certain wage and that just was not possible to deliver to that. I became very determined to help people not make those mistakes in whatever avenue I could do. I'm the director of the Class A tractor trailer CDL program. My job is to facilitate students who've never encountered a semi-truck before and teach them how to safely operate this 80,000-pound behemoth on the national roadway.
For someone who's transitioning out of the military, or even someone that is not transitioning out of the military, I would recommend a program here at Miller-Motte because it gives you a chance to go through a program and finish it in a time frame that works better for somebody that needs to go into work as soon as they can. And I do recommend it for those that might be in the same situation as myself or just needing to get back into the working field or into a career.
It's definitely been surreal going from being a student to now helping students, but I also think it helps me connect. It can be intimidating to go back to college or think about financial aid and student loans, so I think it definitely helps me relate to the students a little bit better, to be able to tell them, hey, I was once in your shoes, or I understand that school can be intimidating, or you don't know how you're gonna manage your job or your kids or whatever while trying to get your degree done. But it is doable. I did it and now I'm here. I never thought I would be here, but I also wouldn't be without this degree.
Everything, in one form or another, comes through an industry that can go overlooked. I'm talking trucking. Next, we visit an industry leader that not only delivers our essentials, but also puts veterans on the road with a brand new career.
Trucking is really important because if you think about it, everything that comes into your household or gets delivered to a store or business comes on truck at some point. The Dobbs Truck Group operates 25 commercial truck dealerships in the United States, and we represent some of the most iconic brands in the industry, including Peterbilt, Mack, Volvo, and Autocar Trucks. My name is Olin Hunter. I'm the Executive Vice President for the Dobbs Truck Group. So I enlisted in the United States Army, and I spent a total of 5 years in the Army as a 13 Foxtrot forward observer. My job in the military was to coordinate and direct fire, whether it's artillery fire, naval gunfire, or close air support. It was a really tough decision, but at some point in my career in the Army, I decided that I wanted to get out and finish my education. 30 years later, here I am. I'm running 15 dealerships.
My name is Timothy Scott Lowe. I work at Dobbs Peterbilt as a diesel engine technician. I came to this company originally because of my background in the military working on hydraulics because I was a tanker, 19 kilo. So I had a good knowledge of hydraulics. I joined the Army in '82. By the time I got to 10-year mark, I had learned a lot. To me, transitioning from the Army into the civilian side is just a matter of going and have another job. You should have enough confidence in yourself. I've had 3 jobs in my career, in my life. It's home farm, military, and here at Dobbs Peterbilt. But teaching the young guys, and them picking it up and learning, and then them carrying on to take my place and move on, I think that's the most exciting part, is watching the young guys grow.
The Dobbs Truck Group is an excellent place to work, especially for veterans that might be terminating their time in the service. We've got excellent careers, whether it's in our service department working on our customers' trucks, or in our warehouses working in supply chain and logistics, or in the administrative sides of our business. We have accounting functions. So there's a lot of opportunities at the Dobbs Truck Group for people that are separating from the military.
My name is Frank Dolan. I am the operations manager for Dobbs Peterbilt in Marysville, Washington and Seattle, Washington. I'm responsible for all fixed operations within Marysville and Seattle dealerships, meaning I run truck sales, parts and service, everything that happens in that store I'm responsible for. I served in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years active duty. While I was in the Marine Corps, I was a motor transport operator, so I drove trucks. That camaraderie and brother-sister attitude, it carries on after you're out of the Marine Corps. You see a Marine, you always say Semper Fi. When I left the Marine Corps, it took me a little time to kind of adjust. So when I kind of got in the industry, it was a big shock. I had a lot to learn. Dobbs Peterbilt has a good sense of camaraderie. I get along with everybody here, and generally speaking, everyone in Dobbs Peterbilt is willing to help and throw in at any point in time when you need it. So that's part of what the Marine Corps strives on.
One of the reasons I think veterans are very successful here at the Dobbs Truck Group is because a lot of the things that skills that you learn in the military translate very well into the team environment that we have here. We're looking for leadership. We're looking for people that have a drive for results, and we're looking for people that like to work as a team.
Here at Dobbs, we have a lot of veterans. I have several veterans within both my dealerships. Some of them are currently serving as reservists. Several of them have combat experience in Afghanistan and Iraq. I hold them in very high regard because of their experience. A vet would be successful because they come right out of the military with a sense of responsibility, a sense of duty, and a sense of commitment.
Similar to the military, Bonneville Power Administration provides critical services to the community. It's a natural fit for servicemen and women who want to continue to serve their nation, apply their skills, and work for a nonprofit that's focused on greater good.
My parents came from Mexico, and I'm first generation American born here. So there wasn't really a path of what to do with my future after high school. So I had a friend join the military and kind of convinced me to do the same. And I joined the military at 17 years old. Who knew what the future would bring?
It had always been a dream of mine to join the military. My grandfather was drafted into the Army during the Korean War, and I joined during my senior year. I joined the Marine Corps to be a Marine musician, and I did that for my first 3 years. And then my last 4 years after a deployment to Afghanistan, I decided to volunteer for embassy security guard duty.
Early on, I can say that at 18 years old, I deployed to Kuwait. And so that was kind of, eye-opening experience. There was only 12 women and there's 300 other military men there. Just the basic commodities that we're used to here, being deployed, it's not the same. It was very scary, but at the same time, it was my first opportunity to learn to be a leader.
I had joined the military with the intention of staying for 20 years, and while I loved every single day in the military, I really started to have different goals. I wanted to become a full-time student. I wanted to try something different. But when I went back to school and started using my GI Bill, I started to become really fascinated with the world of renewable energy and with electrification, and I decided to start applying jobs in the energy sector.
The Bonneville Power Administration is a federal power marketing agency under the Department of Energy. We're nonprofit, self-funded, and we produce about a third of the electricity used in the Pacific Northwest. That electricity is produced by hydro facilities as well as one nuclear plant.
When you work for Bonneville Power, there's a sense of purpose. And the purpose is you're part of anytime somebody goes and switches a light, you're behind that. And when it comes on, you know you've done your job.
I've been at Bonneville 30 years, and I've always felt it's been a family to me. And I see that every day in our culture and how we treat each other.
Veterans fit well here because they come here with skills that they've earned and gained, and they can build upon those skills here at Bonneville. We do have an outreach program, so it's called the Military Veterans Resource Group, and that's actually how I have been able to get connected with other military veterans here at Bonneville. I serve my country overseas, but I still feel like I'm serving my country here, and so I do feel like it's a continuation of my service in the Marine Corps.
I do think that as Bonneville as a family, it has the same thing, we have our lives at home, but when we come together, we accomplish the mission just like we do in the military.
1/3 of our workforce is veterans. So it's not like you're coming into a company where you don't know anyone. You can find people you can relate to.
Leaving the military is a challenge, and the last thing you want is to work somewhere where you don't get credit for your service. Bonneville builds on your service, you get credit for your service, and it should be in every veteran's consideration for future employment.
For anybody that's considering leaving the military, I would strongly recommend a career at Bonneville. We have just different opportunities here that would enable you to continue serving.
It's not just a job, this is a career. And this is one of the most amazing federal agencies that I've been part of. So I would tell veterans, don't walk, run. Apply for jobs if you're getting out of the service, because we have them and we are looking forward to bringing you into this organization.
We're looking to help you make that transition in a really welcoming way. I would really encourage you to look at Bonneville and become part of our family.
With some of its best sales professionals being veterans, Century 21 Real Estate is on a mission to change how real estate is done both in the United States and around the world. Take a look at this.
For over 50 years, the Century 21 brand has been a global leader in the real estate industry. With approximately 14,000 locations across 84 countries, Century 21 is an innovative company that makes sure to value its veteran agents.
The lessons I learned in the military are probably, far beyond what I learned in formal education, and prepared me for, being the best person I can be, representing myself in a professional manner, and doing the things I know I needed to do to provide for myself and family. I think a lot of the skills that people developed in the military are so transferable to the real estate industry. Everything from being a self-starter, that whatever it takes mentality, and looking to truly serve their home buyer and seller needs is something that, the passion that comes through.
I enlisted in the Air Force 1 year out of high school, served for 4 years, and served in the intel field. I had the lucky chance of studying a foreign language thanks to Uncle Sam and being stationed in beautiful Monterey, California for my initial training. Just as I followed in my grandfather's shoes in the military, I also followed his footsteps as far as real estate goes. He was a real estate investor in New York State, and real estate was dinner table conversation in my family. And now, 20 years later, still selling real estate both in Maryland and Pennsylvania. The core values of the military lend itself to success in the real estate world. You have to have excellence in all that you do, integrity, service before self. All of these traits, attention to detail, lend themselves to successful real estate brokers and agents.
I was a part of a F-15E avionics troop, and what we did was we were responsible for making sure all the sorties made it off the ground, got to where they were supposed to be, made sure things got to where it was supposed to be, and made it back home. So I've decided to become a real estate agent and then subsequently a broker by investing in real estate. I started as a home flipper. I would buy homes, rehabilitate those homes, and put them back on the market. I found during that I had some data systems and data background, which allowed me to analyze that for my benefit. What I come to find out was that translated to buyers and sellers who wanted that skill set. When I decided to open a brokerage, I opened it as independent broker. I decided on Century 21 because they had the integrity, they had the name, that brand that meant something. So it's really important who you align yourself with. I always say, I'm looking for people looking for me.
The great thing, and one of the things I'm most proud about of being part of Century 21, throughout our entire Century 21 family and ranks, from our sales professionals to our managers to our owners to our corporate staff, there's a lot of veterans that are part of the organization. So that's something that creates a culture and environment that we want to be welcoming to our veterans coming home, or even active military or spouses of veterans to become part of Century 21. And with that, we've designed a program called Recruiting America's Heroes, and that's where we help those people transition into a career in real estate and help with little things such as licensing and continuing education and really getting a great start on their real estate career.
It's important to work for or with or represent a company that values the military sacrifice that is made by service members. And the fact that Century 21 invests in the initial training to help transition veterans into this career field means a lot to not only brokers, but also the service members.
Visit their website, century21.com, for more information on joining the relentless and available opportunities for military veterans.
Great to see that after sacrificing so much to their military service, today's veterans have found careers where they've been able to shine. I'm Montel Williams. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Military Makeover, Operation Career. We'll see you next time.